Good afternoon everyone, and welcome back to the Nature Patch. My name is Robin and today it is a really chill Sunday afternoon. I have my drink of choice today, which is a nice white wine because it's a Sunday afternoon and why not? I thought I'd just show you some quick updates on what's been happening around here. I wanted to do a quick seedling update to show you all of the zucchinis and pumpkins that have popped up, just for my record and also to show you how everything's going. So Scott and I also picked up behind us that big bed there from Scott's dad. He has a lot of old wood lying around and we just put together a makeshift garden bed, and that's going to be another pumpkin and zucchini bed, I think. So I'll take you around there and show you what's been happening and just sort of some plans for the springtime. I've got this massive tarp drying behind me, so just excuse that. A bit of an eyesore at the moment, but I'll show you what I'm doing over in the main patch and also show you how my seedlings are going. But first we definitely need to hydrate. That's much better. It's been a long week. I've had a pretty busy week at uni. This week I've had a bit of a presentation that I had to do on Friday, which went really well, and I'm also just trying to get papers written for my PhD as well, so that's where most of my time is spent. I'm currently halfway through doing a PhD that's kind of more science related, so I might do a bit of a sit down talky video on that just to share a little bit more about myself. But most of the time I'm either working from home and I don't get to come outside as much as I want to in the garden, or I have to go into uni for meetings and do work in there. But thankfully I am in the garden this afternoon, so I will show you some really exciting updates on how the little seedlings are going. So first we have this massive extension here, which is going to be a big pumpkin patch. I'm just going to fill it with a lot of manure, food scraps, let it all rot down a lot, and then eventually I'll plant some pumpkins in here and they can just sprawl out and do their thing. But down here all of these beds are all full. So in one video I showed you all of these seeds that I planted in here, or just the tags, but they've all started coming up now, which is exciting. So the spaghetti squash is going really well. It's really nice and healthy and popped up really quickly, and I think this might be a butternut. I've had a few other weird things pop up that I didn't plant. I didn't plant that, so I don't know what that is. But around this region should be 2 butternut pumpkins. And then I do have some cucumbers coming up as well. So eventually I'm going to put an arch between these 2 beds here and have a bit of a wire going up the arch so that the cucumbers can climb up them. But my Black Beauty zucchini is also coming up, and the Coco Zell. I don't know how to pronounce this one, but this one's looking really healthy. And I've got marigolds on either side, which are now flowering. There's one on that bed. The Kajari melons haven't come up yet, so I'm keeping an eye on them, but I'm thinking of just planting some in pots so I know that they're Kajari melons. And then I'll plant them in here. So I think that's going to be my job tomorrow morning before I start work. And then I also just potted up a capsicum. This capsicum I got from Bunnings. It was in a really small pot and it looked really unhealthy, so they marked it down to $1. It's just a Californian Wonder, so I don't know what color it's going to be. But I nursed it back to health. I fed it lots of worm tea and seems to be happy now. So I potted it up into a bigger pot, and it's going to stay around this area. And I'm also going to buy some more capsicum seedlings from the markets because I can get them pretty cheap there, because I suck at germinating capsicum. I think the problem that I had was I don't have a greenhouse, so where I am now it still can get down below 10 degrees at night, and I don't think that the capsicums really liked that temperature at night times. I think for next year I'll definitely invest in a small little greenhouse. I just didn't want to have to keep bringing it in and out of the house all the time to keep them warm. Sometimes I didn't get back from work until late and they were already pretty cold, and I don't know, it's just a bit of a hassle. So next year I'm definitely going to invest in a small greenhouse, but for now I'm happy to buy capsicum seedlings. And then another exciting thing is all of my zucchinis in this row have all popped up. They're all nice and healthy. And all of my beans, well, some of my beans are coming up. They are so pretty. There's also the red burgundy ones coming up on the other side. So I'm super excited about these. But moving over to this big bed, I have all of my 3 cucumbers popping up. So it's exciting. and things are eating a lot of my brassicas, which I'm kind of okay with. So everything's really going well in this bed. I took out the snow peas and now I've prepped this for tomatoes to go in this end. And I want to kind of generally keep this bed to be greens and some herbs because it's behind this shed. Thankfully it doesn't get the really harsh afternoon sun, and when it gets up to about 40 degrees, this is going to want some shade. So I'm going to plant some more herbs and greens in this bed, but keep the sides for some tomatoes in this area, but all of here is going to be like cucumbers and herbs and greens. I also just wanted to talk about how much of a difference the nasturtiums have made to this area and a few things that I've let go to seed there. We have so many different pollinators and bees at the moment that I've seen come into these flowers. And so if you're after something that you want to just be prolific just for the bees, I mean, I've been eating some of these flowers too, and some of the leaves, I would 100% recommend nasturtiums. This was just a mix I bought from a nursery and they've all just exploded. Another really great thing about nasturtiums is that they're really high in nitrogen. So when I've been trimming them back because they are so prolific, I've actually been digging it into the soil down here. So underneath here is a lot of nasturtium leaves, snow pea leaves. They're also high in nitrogen. So what I've been doing is kind of like a chop and drop. I will chop it all up and then cut it into little pieces and then just put it back onto the ground, and then work it in a little bit, trying not to disturb the soil as much as I can, and that just provides extra nutrients and nitrogen into your soil. I'm going to be doing that to a lot of plants that I have. I planted a lot of rocket and pak choi that went to flower and to seed, so I've made sure to kind of get rid of a lot of those seeds, but I'm just going to be taking them out and then chopping them up. So I'm going to do a little bit of that now to get that job out of the way after another sip of wine, because I totally deserve that, right? Yeah. Seriously, if you're after a good Sauvignon Blanc, New Zealand does the best ones. So good. Yeah, also fun update. Got a python in the roof. Absolutely terrifying at night, not gonna lie, and sounds like a bloody dinosaur in the roof. So Scott and I a few days ago were just about to go into bed, and we hopped into bed, turned the lights off and everything. It was all nice and quiet, and then we just heard it. I've heard many a snake in my lifetime and don't really have a good relationship with them. I had a terrifying experience as a kid, and from that terrifying experience now have a little bit of a phobia of snakes. So hearing it slither around on our roof right above our bed was absolutely terrifying. And the other day we ended up finding it in the garage, so I'll try and get a shot of it if I can. So you can't really see it that well, but it's definitely a python, and yeah, I'm trying to keep positive though. Everyone's telling me to keep positive, but it does keep down the rodents in the ceiling, not that we've had any, and it does also mean we're less likely to get a lot of the brown snakes and the other venomous snakes because it eats all the food. So let's try and keep positive, Robin. So this is the situation in the main patch. I've got a little butcher bird hanging around, eating some bugs, which I'm cool with. Just don't eat all my worms. You can stay though. What I'm going to do is take up a lot of this. I could eat some of the rocket, but I'm going to plant more anyway. And I really just wanted to get something in the ground here so that it would start working the soil, start putting some nitrogen back in. So as you saw, I took a lot of the seed pods off because I don't really want them going back in the ground, or else they're going to sprout pak choi everywhere. I could save these, but I get these seeds really cheap. It's just not really worth the time. And what I've just been doing is chopping it all up and then putting it on the soil and then covering it with some of the sugarcane mulch. So this is just going to add a little bit of nitrogen back into the soil here, and should decompose pretty quickly as they are just leaves. So I think for the next job, this is the entry of the main patch. I've got all of these sticks here, and I kind of want to make a bit more of a defined boundary here. This is my big flower bed that I have. I've got some cornflowers, some daffodils coming up, calendula. And I just want to make it look a little bit more like a bed, so I think I'm just going to move those sticks around and put them around the bed to define it a little bit more. Alright, so I don't think I'm going to win any awards for presentation, but I think it looks okay. So if you've got any big eucalyptus trees, or any tree around really with lots of sticks, it doesn't look that bad, right? I have my first Swan River daisy that's popped up, which is super exciting. I actually find it really challenging to grow flowers, so this is exciting for me. And before I end the video, I have something really exciting. My first tomato has popped up. So these were my volunteer tomatoes that I planted, and look, it's hard to see, but yay, I have my first tomato, and there's one on the other side, and I think another one, yep, forming under there. Any guesses on what this might be? I don't know what variety it is because it was just a volunteer strong plant. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe a cherry tomato, but I'm not too sure. I'll be happy if it's a cherry tomato because I really do like a good cherry tomato. But all of these ones are doing really well, and I've planted heaps more that I'm going to do a full garden tour in the next few days, where I'll show you where I'm planting them and what types I've got planted in the ground. So I might leave the video here and go back to my wine. Hope you guys enjoyed this kind of chilled Sunday. I'm thinking of doing a video like this every Sunday of just I swear I'm hearing snakes all the time now. It's just a bird. I'm thinking of doing a video like this most Sundays, just to chill if I have time, of just some random jobs I've been up to during the week, because I don't always get time. I'm sometimes doing like 20 minutes after work when the sun's almost going down, which is what I did the other day to plant a lot of these tomatoes, and it's not really worth making a video, so I like the Sunday chill style videos. Let me know if you do as well. Look out for a garden tour in the next week or two. I will be filming that and editing that to give you a full overview on what I'm growing, what's doing well and what's not. But until my next video, happy gardening. Bye!